What if the first year of TNA wrestling wasn't booked by Jeff Jarrett and Vince Russo? What if it was booked much better? Today, using Universe Mode, we're going to go over what could have happened if it was booked better. We start off the first week as Abyss takes on none other than Shark Boy. As one of the newer and more recent hires to the TNA roster, Abyss is looking to make an impact and show that he belongs here. He takes on a veteran in the game in Shark Boy. Shark Boy takes the fight to Abyss, but he gets caught with a massive black hole slam. Abyss gets a massive win when all of a sudden New Jack, of all people, appears and makes his presence felt. He talks crap on Abyss's name, and before you know it, he flips off Abyss, and New Jack says he's coming for the monster. Then, in some tag team action, we see the Briscoe brothers as they go up against the phenomenal AJ Styles and the Amazing Red, the current TNA NWA World Tag Team Champions. AJ Styles is a double champion, and the Amazing Phenomenon are looking for a big time win as the Amazing Red hits the code red and AJ Styles hits the spiral tap, goes for the cover, and gets the big time win. The Amazing Phenomenon retain the NWA TNA World Tag Team titles, and before you know it, Christopher Daniels and Low-Ki are spotted backstage watching this as they could be in line and looking for a tag team title opportunity. Next up, we see the Macho Man Randy Savage make his way into TNA, and before you know it, the crowd thinks he's going to start off with a fine speech, but instead, Macho Man turns on the crowd completely. He sours on him, and Macho Man starts going off. He starts crashing out when all of a sudden, Roddy Piper makes a surprise and shocking appearance here in TNA. He looks to confront Macho Man about how Macho Man is flipping out on the crowd, and Roddy Piper is not happy about it. Roddy Piper says he should learn a lesson in respect, and Macho Man once again shows the ultimate act of disrespect, flipping off the hot rod, and all of a sudden, it's a disgusting display. Macho Man goes low, hits the hot rod with a low blow, climbs the top, and hits him with a massive elbow to the chest. He bloodies up the hot rod, takes him outside the ring, destroys him, and then he picks him up and hits with a massive sit-out pile driver on the steel grating on the ramp, and Macho Man has been unhinged, and Macho Man has officially lost it. But then it's main event time as Ron Killings, Scott Hall, and the NWA TNA World Champion Jeff Jarrett do battle in a massive triple threat match in the first main event for the NWA TNA World's Heavyweight Championship. It's a banger triple threat matchup. All three get some good offense in. Jeff Jarrett, obviously the guy defending the belt, doesn't have to be pinned himself to lose the championship, but he dominates at some portions of the match, and so does Scott Hall using that veteran experience. We just saw him a few years back in WCW before this, so here it's no shock that Scott Hall is dominating. Ron Killings eventually hits a lie detector on Jeff Jarrett, and then Scott Hall sneaks in the ring, throws Ron Killings out the ring, and before you know it, Scott Hall picks up Jeff Jarrett, and he hits him with a massive outsider's edge. He covers him, and he becomes the new NWA World's Heavyweight Championship as Week 1 concludes. Going into Week 2, however, Ron Killings finds Scott Hall in the backstage area, and he starts ranting and raving about how he was not pinned, and he wants a match with Scott Hall in the main event tonight, which Scott Hall accepts. Later on in the ring, we would see Animal take on none other than New Jack in a massive singles contest. New Jack destroys Animal in the ring. He doesn't let up. He does not go easy on the veteran, and New Jack is pissed off. Remember, New Jack made an appearance the previous week to confront the monster Abyss, and right now he's just sending a message to Abyss, taking out his frustrations on Animal. He hits him with a diving headbutt. He throws the match out. He grabs a steel chair, but before he can hit Animal, Abyss makes the save. New Jack runs, and New Jack says, "Not tonight," to Abyss. New Jack wants Abyss in a match in a few weeks, and it's all gonna go down. Next up, we see a technical masterclass as Perry Saturn goes up against Jerry Lynn. It's a number 1 contenders match to see who will be the number 1 contender for the double champion AJ Styles for his NWA TNA X Division Championship. The match is a wrestling clinic, folks. Jerry Lynn has the crowd on his side. Perry Saturn representing Team Extreme. The winner gets a title shot in a couple weeks. Jerry Lynn escapes the rings of Saturn, and he hits a massive sit-out cradle pile driver for the win. AJ Styles comes out. The match is made in 2 weeks' time for the NWA TNA X Division title. But then on the screen, we see Christopher Daniels and Low Ki attacking the Amazing Red backstage, and AJ Styles isn't even aware of it. But everyone else in the arena is the Amazing Red laid out backstage by Daniels and Low Ki. In the next matchup, Macho Man hosts an open challenge that's answered by Shark Boy. Shark Boy once again looking to step up for another challenge this week. Last week was Abyss. This week is for the Macho Man. But the Macho Man splits open Shark Boy, hits him with a massive crossbody, climbs the top, and unfortunately for Shark Boy, the elbow drop lands successfully, and Macho Man gets a big time victory after his heinous assault on Roddy Piper the week before. And in the main event of week 2, Ron Killings comes out to the ring. He's in a match ready to go up against the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion Scott Hall, who just won the title a week prior. He's assisted to the ring by BG James, but it's not enough, unfortunately for Ron, as Scott Hall hits him with the outsider's edge to get a win. Then BG runs in, but he also gets caught and dropped by an outsider's edge. Scott Hall takes care of the 3 Live crew in impressive fashion. All of a sudden we see Raven make his appearance felt. He's confronting the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. He wants next. He points at Scott Hall, and Scott Hall is ready for Raven to bring on the fight. He's ready to bring it on. All of a sudden, Scott Hall gets assaulted from behind, and you won't believe who it is, folks. He gets dropped by a Pepsi plunge, a standing Pepsi plunge by none other than CM Punk. The Gathering is here, and they're gaining up on the new NWA World's Champion as Raven lays out Scott Hall with a DDT, and the message is clear. The Gathering is here, and Raven wants next in line for the world title. In the next week, Abyss is assaulted by New Jack in the center of the ring. Abyss tries to fight back before their final matchup next week, but then Sandman and Perry Saturn are here. New Jack's cronies, New Jack's new hitmen, known as Team Extreme, they gain up and they get the upper hand on Abyss just 1 week before their hardcore matchup, which is going to be insane. In the next matchup, Daniels and Low Ki take on Jerry Lynn and AJ Styles. The two guys who are going to face each other, Styles and Lynn, team up before their epic matchup for the title. All of a sudden, Christopher Daniels runs in with a chair, throws the match out. And unfortunately, there's nothing really anyone can do, as Amazing Red was assaulted and attacked the week prior, so he's laid up in the hospital. And then Daniels attacks Styles and takes him out before their big tag team matchup. Then backstage, we see Ken Shamrock confronting the Macho Man about his recent actions. Again, another intervention for the Macho Man, but he does not care. Once again, he treats Ken Shamrock and the fans just like he did a few weeks back. He flips off the wrong man. He looks to attack Shamrock, but Shamrock hits him with a grand uppercut. Macho Man is stunned. He went like 5 feet in the air, and then he runs away, runs to his car. The match is made for next week. And then in the main event of week 3, the Gathering are here as CM Punk takes on the world's heavyweight champion Scott Hall in a grudge matchup. Scott Hall is looking for vengeance on CM Punk for the attack that he endured the week prior when Punk laid him out and helped assisted Raven. And the matchup is really good, a great main event. CM Punk gets some eyeballs on him. The fans of TNA get to see what he's all about, and Scott Hall brings the fire and hits him with the outsider's edge as Raven looks on, smiling. But the match is over. Scott Hall doesn't care. He exposes the turnbuckle and absolutely destroys CM Punk, smashing him headfirst repeatedly into the turnbuckle, sends a message to Raven before their title match in 1 week's time. And we start off week 4. It's a special Super Show edition of NWA TNA. Abyss and New Jack kick off the show in a hardcore madness type matchup. No rules, no disqualification, no countout. Anything goes. Must win by pinfall, submission, or knockout. These two go at each other. They destroy each other. Abyss and New Jack have a back and forth, brutal hardcore matchup. New Jack and Abyss abuse the toys and the weapons all around the ring, all under the ring. They destroy each other. New Jack picks up Abyss, hits him with a massive pile driver off the apron, onto some steel steps. It's Extreme. And then before you know it, Team Extreme tries to make the save for New Jack. Perry, Saturn, and Sandman assault Abyss. And Abyss can't really do anything about it. They're teaming up, double teaming. New Jack not playing fair, but Abyss powers out. The monster's too much. He hits both men with massive black hole slams, takes them both out of commission, and then before you know it, he brings out a special toy. He's named Janice. He brings in Janice and assaults New Jack with Janice, hits him multiple times, and then he hits him with a massive black hole slam. His arm lands right into the spikes of Janice. Abyss gets a big time win. Then we see Jerry Lynn get a title shot against the double champion AJ Styles in a matchup for the NWA TNA X Division Championship. AJ Styles has to pull a doubleheader tonight as he and Jerry Lynn lock up in the first bout for AJ. The match is a wrestling clinic. Jerry Lynn, you all remember from his days in ECW, one of the best that there was from that promotion. AJ Styles, one of the best there is from this promotion. They go at it for the championship. They go back and forth all match, 5 stars, until in the climax of the match, Styles lands it and hits it with a massive spiral tap. Gets the 1, 2, 3. Styles wins, and Jerry Lynn has officially passed the torch. Shakes the hand of the Phenomenal One as AJ Styles wins. But it's not over yet, because he also has a tag title match against Daniels and Low Ki. He's ready, but then we see on the big screen, Amazing Red has been laid out again, thrown into a light, and it looks like Styles has no choice but to go at it alone. He's going to go at it in a handicap match. All of a sudden, he gets assaulted by none other than Elix Skipper. Skipper lays out the Phenomenal One, and the referee unfortunately has no choice but to ring the bell. And Daniels and Low Ki just got easy pickings as they picked the bones that Skipper left in AJ Styles. Daniels hits him with the Fallen Angel, and Triple X has arrived in NWA TNA. They formed this threesome, and they are the new NWA TNA World Tag Team Champions. In the next contest, Macho Man takes on Ken Shamrock in a grudge match. As Macho Man has crashed out lately, Ken Shamrock looks to put him in his place once and for all. After all the disrespect that Macho Man has shown the veterans of NWA TNA, Shamrock is looking to beat the crap out of this new version of Macho Man that we haven't seen in a long time, if ever. He goes at Shamrock, hits him with a crossbody in the corner. He looks to go for that elbow, that signature elbow, but nobody's home. Shamrock moves out the way, and then Shamrock attempts to lock in the ankle lock. That signature move that's made many of his victims tap out before. The Macho Man escapes and rolls up Ken Shamrock. Referee counts. Can Macho Man do it? Yes, he does. Macho Man steals the victory with the roll up. He outsmarts Ken Shamrock. Shamrock is pissed. Macho Man, this new version, kicks off this new run with a massive win. And in your main event of week 4 of the Super Show, Raven, the #1 contender, goes up against Scott Hall, the NWA TNA World Heavyweight Champion. It's a big matchup for the ages. They go back and forth. Raven and Scott Hall. Raven has made this so personal. After Scott Hall was assaulted by the Gathering, Raven looks to become champion here tonight. He looks to get a big time win, but Scott Hall's a fighter. Scott Hall has found this new fight in his life. He's overcome his addictions, and it looks like he's going to try and retain this championship. It's a brutal fight, back and forth all matchup. They brawl everywhere, both in and outside the ring. Raven talks trash, looks for the DDT, but Scott Hall counters and hits him with a massive choke slam. He hits him, and then the referee goes down at the climax of the matchup. He looks for the outsider's edge, but Raven counters. Raven counters and slips in a chair, and Raven lands the massive DDT on the chair when the referee's not looking. Raven goes dirty. He throws the chair away, goes for the pin, and wins. Becomes the new NWA TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Raven does it. The leader of the Gathering leads NWA TNA to the future. Speaking of the future, CM Punk comes out here to celebrate with his best friend Raven as the new champion has arrived, defeating Scott Hall. when all of a sudden CM Punk would lay out Raven shockingly with a DDT. CM Punk turns his back on the veteran. He turns his back on his teacher, and he hits him with a massive Pepsi plunge off the top, right on top of the championship belt, as Raven is bloodied. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what I think could have happened if NWA TNA in 2002 had a rebook and was rebooked better than it was the first time. How would you guys have booked TNA in 2002? Let me know in the comments.